Mimi Obansuin at the 2019 Manitou Abi Indigenous Music Conference. Just wanted to talk about your new album, Trillium. Can you talk about how you were inspired by the grace and the power of North Ontario landscape?
So I'm from Sudbury, Ontario, and I call it North-ish Ontario because for a long time I was calling it Northern Ontario, and I finally got to tour up to Thunder Bay and I realized that's Northern Ontario, so I was like, I'm sorry guys. So I'm from Sudbury, and you know, I was very lucky to grow up with amazing parents who taught me the value and the lessons in what surrounds us. And that landscape, it's inside of me now. And I learned that moving to Toronto. I was like, oh my God, I miss home. And I wrote so many songs about it. So that's where that comes from.
In those songs, you've really made a masterful kind of appreciation of that landscape. I'm thinking particularly of the one that I think is perhaps the strongest is I Feel So Small. Can you talk a little bit about the actual writing process? Put us in the room with you when you were writing that song.
That's really interesting that you picked that one out, because usually when I write, I call it my sanctuary. So I have a space where I like to go to sit down with myself, and I have all my instruments around me, and I just kind of let the songs flow through. So oftentimes I have a keyword or a sentence, and I find a vibe on an instrument, and it kind of grows from there. But actually that song, I wrote the lyrics first as a poem, and I was sitting by a pool in India when I was touring there, and it just kind of flowed out. But it was very interesting because it wasn't about the landscape where I was physically, it was about the one home. And then I came home, and 3 months, like I kind of forgot about it, and a couple months later the instrumentation came out, and it just really happened really organically. So
wonderful piece of work.
Thank you.
One of the key lines that I love there is that, and that this is so true of it's almost the line of the album, is that we witness magic every day. Can you talk a little bit about that as a guiding principle in a way?
I think when we take the time to focus on our breath, our vibrations in conjunction with the vibrations that are going out around us, we become more aware of who we are and our role in this space. So, you know, I have a ritual of going into the forest every day and walking and just taking time with myself, and I call them my teachers. You know, they're these people, these creatures, these spirits around us that teach us things. So it's just kind of being self-aware and being aware that we're, like you said earlier, we're small and we're so tiny, you know, think of the trees, how big they are, but we're part of it, and it's a relationship, it's a friendship, it's a partnership, not me versus you. So.